Joining us here at Post 9 this morning is Vertiv's Executive Chair David Cote, also former CEO at Honeywell and Executive Chairman at CompoSecure, which is why you're in the building. Dave, good to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Nice to be here. It's always fun. We rang the bell today for CompoSecure. We put our listing on the New York Stock Exchange. Marvelous business. It's one of those way underestimated value type businesses. We make metal credit cards, which sounds like a simple thing, like you just kind of punch them out. The reality of it is it's 8 layers, one of them's an antenna, fit and finish matter a lot. It's a difficult thing to do. So I've been entranced with the business from the beginning, and things have gone very well. So we launched at around $750 a year ago. We're over 20 now. It's also gone very well.
And help viewers understand why the addressable market is what it is.
It's brand cachet is the way to think of it. So everybody wants to talk about, no, everything's going to be on your phone and technology and so on. But at the end of the day, people still like brands because it says something about themselves. And taking out a metal credit card combined with a really good program, it's like I said, why do women want a Louis Vuitton handbag? For $100 you can get something that looks just as good, does the job, you could throw it away and not worry about it, but Louis Vuitton matters. The same thing with metal credit cards. It even matters like when you drop it.
I was going to say the sound that it makes.
Exactly right. I mean, it's really funny to see what that does for people. And they all say, well, the young are going to go to tech. And you say, no, actually, they're the ones most concerned about being able to say, I'm somebody.
They're the one buying the vinyl records now. It's the same kind of a deal.
Just take it out when you go through TSA.
Yeah, it's really kind of, so I'm quite entranced with the business. We're growing very well, and you've seen the quarters. It's done very well.
Well, that's fabulous. I mean, we talk about you all the time through the Vertiv lens, and we did get this announcement from NVIDIA and OpenAI. Can you help viewers understand what the financing aspect means for the growth of the business? Whether or not does that harken back to things we saw in the 90s or not?
No, I do think, I suppose you could say some of it is the same, but overall, here's the way I would look at it, and it's why I like Vertiv from the beginning in terms of an investment. We're only 40 years into the digital age. The industrial age lasted over 100 years. We're only at the beginning of everything that's going to transform digitally over the next 50, 60 years. So we're all entranced right now with AI. It's really just the next step. And when you start to think about how computation evolves and the doubling every 2 years, which everybody's been predicting would stop 10, 20 years ago, it keeps going because you guys get guys like Jensen Huang who come up with GPUs. If you double computing power every 2 years, in 10 years you have about 32 times the computing power you do today. In 20 years you have over 1,000 times the computing power you do today. And you've still got quantum coming. You can't even contemplate what that's going to mean, how that's going to change things. So that's why I've loved being in the middle of this with data centers and with Vertiv. This is a long-term trend. All these things that you're going to see, the investments that are being made, will there be a lull at some point? Probably so. When that comes, tough to know, but I know that trend is there. There's no alternative to a data center for storing information, even for quantum computing.
Yeah, the lack of alternative, I guess, is where it comes back to. I ask this question, and I admit that it's a naive question every single time this comes up, which is, if power supply and capacity is the main constraint, why aren't the smartest people in the world trying to figure out a way where you might be able to navigate around it or reduce the power needs of that computation? I mean, there was a time I remember when people were like, batteries can't get all that more efficient and competitive with ice because it's chemistry. Yeah. People said that. So I don't know if there's longer term, maybe it's beyond the horizon we care about, but is it possible that you're going to end up with more capacity than we need in power?
Boy, maybe someday.
Yeah.
But for the next 10 years, I have a tough time seeing that.
No, that's the answer, I guess.
My view of it is, because some people will say data center growth is going to be restricted because you can't get power. I think it's the other way around. With the kind of money involved, the power will show up. Now, it may be gas turbines that are burning energy, that may be more solar, wind, nuclear, whatever. The power will get there. There's just too much money involved. There's too big a trend with the data storage. This has to keep going. So, yeah, it's a problem. Everybody has to work on it, but they will sort it out. They will find the power. There's just too much demand.
I'd love to get your take on the H-1B visas and the new price of that, sort of the price of entry to work here. For some of the best and brightest, I'm sure your companies need to use these to get the best talent. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I kind of, any economy to thrive needs the best brain power, and that best brain power empowered to try to become billionaires if they want to. Because that's what appeals to human nature, the human psyche, to want to just create, to innovate, to turn yourself or your company or whatever into something. So the countries that do the best job of attracting brain power and giving them the ability to turn into somebody, something, whatever it is they want to do, that's a huge competitive advantage. We ought to be looking at immigration in a way that says, how do we enhance all that brain power in the U.S.? All of this, if you look at economics as a zero-sum game, you want to be restricted. If you look at it and say, no, economics builds on itself, which is a lesson since Adam Smith that we keep learning, it seems, and every year a new group has to learn it and maybe doesn't. But we ought to be trying to get as much brain power in the country as we can. So I'd like to see policies that facilitate getting more brain power wherever it comes from in the world, who wants to come to the U.S. and show, here's who I am, here's what I can do, here's what I'm made of. Those are the folks we want.
Dave, congratulations on CompoSecure. Thanks for sitting down.
Thanks, man.
I wish Jim and David were here, but we'll see you next time.
Nice to see you guys.
David
Nice
Cote.
to see you.